She crashed my engagement party with a smirk and a secret that could burn the room down. I thought I'd left her in the past, but some ghosts don't stay buried. My name is Ethan Caldwell, and I was weeks away from marrying the love of my life, Sophia. We'd planned everything: the venue, a charming vineyard under the California sun, the guest list, a tight 150 of our closest, and the vows, which I'd rewritten a dozen times to get just right. Sophia was everything I'd ever wanted. Kind, brilliant, with a laugh that could make the worst day feel like a gift. I was ready to build a life with her, to leave behind the chaos of my 20s, including my ex, Lila. Lila and I had been a wildfire, intense, reckless, and doomed from the start. We dated for 2 years, a whirlwind of late-night arguments, passionate makeups, and promises we both knew we'd never keep. When we broke up 3 years ago, it wasn't clean. She accused me of betraying her, of moving on too fast, though I'd only met Sophia 6 months later. Lila vanished from my life, or so I thought, until that damn engagement announcement hit social media. It was a simple post. A photo of Sophia and me, her ring glinting in the sunlight, captioned, "She said yes." Within hours, my phone pinged with a message from a number I hadn't seen in years. "Lila. Congrats, Ethan. Looks like you're finally settling down. Hope she knows you better than I did." The words dripped with venom, but I ignored them. Sophia laughed it off, saying, "Exes always get weird. Let's not give her the attention." I agreed, but something about Lila's tone gnawed at me. She wasn't the type to let things go. A week later, I got a call from my old college buddy, Jake. "Man, you're not gonna believe this," he said, his voice tight. "Lila's been asking around about you. Like digging. She called me, asked about your job, your family, even Sophia. She's got this vibe like she's looking for something." I brushed it off, told him she was just being nosy. But then I started noticing things. My LinkedIn profile had views from an anonymous user. My sister got a random message asking if I was still the same guy. And then 2 days before the engagement party, my email was flagged for suspicious login attempts. I changed my passwords, but the knot in my stomach tightened. The night of the party arrived, a warm September evening at the vineyard. String lights twinkled above tables laden with wine and hors d'oeuvres. Sophia looked radiant in a cream dress, her smile calming my nerves. Friends and family milled around, toasting to our future. I was mid-conversation with my dad when I saw her, Lila, striding through the crowd like she owned the place. Her red dress was impossible to miss, a bold slash against the soft pastels of the evening. In her hand she held an envelope, and her eyes locked on mine with a mix of triumph and rage. "Ethan," she said, loud enough for heads to turn. "We need to talk. Now." Sophia was at my side in an instant, her hand on my arm, her voice steady. "Who's this?" she asked, though I could tell she already knew. The air crackled with tension as guests whispered, their eyes darting between us. I wanted to disappear, but Lila wasn't giving me that option. "Let's not make a scene," I said, trying to keep my voice calm. "Oh, I'm not here to make a scene," Lila replied, her smile sharp. "I'm here to make sure Sophia knows who she's marrying." She held up the envelope and my heart sank. I had no idea what was inside, but I knew Lila well enough to know it wasn't good. She tore it open, pulling out a stack of papers and photos. "You remember our last fight, Ethan? When you swore you'd never lied to me?" Her voice trembled, but not with sadness, with fury. "I found something interesting while I was catching up on you." She handed Sophia a photo, and I caught a glimpse of it. Me 3 years ago, at a bar with a woman I vaguely recognized. Not Sophia. Not Lila. Just some random night I barely remembered. Sophia's face didn't change, but her grip on my arm tightened. "What is this?" she asked, her voice low. "It's proof," Lila said, "that Ethan's not the saint he pretends to be. He was cheating on me, Sophia. And if he did it to me, what makes you think he won't do it to you?" The crowd was silent now, every eye on us. My dad stepped forward, his face red. "This is nonsense, Ethan. Tell her she's got it wrong." But I couldn't. Not entirely. The photo was real, but the context was blurry. I hadn't cheated on Lila, not in the way she meant. That night at the bar, Lila and I were already on the rocks, practically broken up. I'd gone out, gotten drunk, and yeah, I'd flirted with someone. But it wasn't an affair. It was a mistake, one I'd buried and forgotten. Or so I thought. "Lila, you're twisting this," I said, my voice shaking. You know we were done by then. You can't just show up and… Twisting. She cut me off, holding up another document. Then explain this. She handed it to Sophia, who scanned it quickly. Her eyes widened and my stomach dropped. It was a copy of an old email, one I'd sent to a friend during my breakup with Lila. In it I'd vented about her, called her toxic and unstable, said I couldn't wait to be free. It was harsh, raw, and not meant for anyone else's eyes. Especially not Sophia's. Where did you get this? I demanded. Lila smirked. You're not the only one who knows how to dig, Ethan. You left a trail and I followed it. Sophia handed me the email, her face unreadable. Is this true? She asked. I wanted to lie to say it was fake, but I couldn't. It's from years ago, I said. I was angry. I didn't mean it like that. Didn't mean it? Lila laughed, bitter. You meant every word. And Sophia deserves to know who you really are. The night spiraled from there. Sophia walked away, saying she needed air. My mom tried to calm the guests, but the mood was ruined. Lila stood there, triumphant, as if she'd won some grand victory. But when I looked into her eyes, I saw something else, pain, raw and unguarded. She wasn't just angry. She was hurt, still carrying the wounds of our breakup like they'd happened yesterday. I followed Sophia to the edge of the vineyard, where she stood staring at the stars. I need you to be honest with me, she said, her voice steady but fragile. Is there anything else I don't know? I told her everything. The messy end with Lila, the night at the bar, the email. I didn't hold back. Even when it hurt to admit how selfish I'd been back then. Sophia listened, her face a mask of calm, but I could see the cracks forming. I love you, I said. I'm not that guy anymore. I haven't been for a long time. She nodded, but her eyes were distant. I need time, she said. Not because of Lila, but because you didn't tell me. I shouldn't have to find out like this. The next few days were agony. Sophia stayed with her sister, and I was left replaying the party in my head. I wanted to hate Lila, but part of me understood her. She'd loved me once, and I'd hurt her not with cheating but with carelessness. I'd moved on without looking back, while she was stuck in the wreckage. I reached out to Lila, not to fight but to talk. We met at a coffee shop, and for the first time in years we were honest. She admitted she'd hacked into my old email account, desperate to find something to hurt me with. She'd spent months obsessing over my life, unable to let go. I thought if I could make you feel what I felt, it'd fix something, she said, tears in her eyes. But it didn't. I told her I was sorry not for the breakup, but for how I'd handled it. I'd been cruel in my words, dismissive of her pain. We didn't become friends, but we found a kind of peace. She promised to leave Sophia and me alone, and I believed her. Sophia came back a week later. We talked for hours, not just about Lila but about trust, about what we wanted our marriage to be. She wasn't ready to forgive me completely, but she was willing to try. I love you, she said. But you have to promise me one thing. No more secrets. Promised, and I meant it. The wedding was still on, but it wasn't the perfect fairy tale I'd imagined. It was real, messy and human, just like us. Lila's stunt had forced us to face truths we'd avoided, and in a strange way, it made us stronger. But it also left me wondering, how far would I have gone to protect my own secrets? And how much do any of us really know about the people we love? What do you think? Was Lila wrong to dig into Ethan's past and crash the party? Or did she have a right to expose what she found? Should Sophia forgive Ethan? Or is trust too hard to rebuild once it's broken? Share your thoughts on justice, truth, and second chances.